Welcome to Byron Bay. Cheer up, chill out. Look at the traffic. Look at the traffic. So we've come off the highway, the main freeway. And thought I'd go through Byron Bay, check it out, just have a look. In keeping with the scenic route, wear a helmet, police targeting e-bikes. Well, you can't say you weren't warned. Well, the traffic from leaving the freeway to here has just been horrendous. It's only just started to flow. Just before I turned the camera on, it just started to flow, but before that it was walking pace. Well, that's normal going into Byron Bay, so shouldn't be surprised. Okay, so we've got a detour ahead. I wonder why. Some sort of roadworks, I guess. Count the motels. Okay, I'm going to let you go. Good, they've got their helmets on. There's a hippie. I wonder if he works, or am I paying his wages? Put that girl, leave that girl in there. I don't know where she's been. Alright, Byron Bay. We'll walk up and have a look at the beach. Walk up, ride up. We'll ride up and have a look at the beach.
Projections for this financial year show a worker that age now earns $67,000, while the amount paid in tax will jump by 3.01% to $12,200.
That Blue Cow Gelato, been in there, very nice ice cream, very good. And in there, in that hotel, I took my cousin Betty, who lives in England, came down here one day for a drive and took her to lunch. Nice pool. Very nice swimming pool. Alright, so here we are. Let's go for a bit of a drive down here. It's a dead end, so we'll go down and turn around. Yeah.
Let me know your thoughts on it this morning. 141-873 is the number.
Isn't it beautiful here? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Conduct another interview and start spruiking how well he's done with the economy. Go and tell that to the average Australian who are being hurt in the hip pocket through a cost of living crisis. They've had 3 years to do something about it and they've done nothing. Ducking. So it's a bit rich for the Treasurer and the Prime Minister to continue standing there saying, oh, we're going to deliver more cost of living relief. Well, where was the cost of living relief?
So pretty here, so pretty.
Maybe they can explain that more.
We'll take the shortcut like the pushy bike rider did.
131-873. These are the numbers, these are the announcements that affect you, the people of Australia, and it'll clear the way for an election coming up. So bring it on, ISO. I think when you sum up the budget, there's plenty of smoke from the Treasurer. Instead of putting a budget together for the next 5 years, quite clearly, it's a budget designed for the next 5 weeks. Now, tonight's budget will clear the way for that election, and the Prime Minister could visit the Governor-General as early as this weekend. We're already getting a glimpse of what the campaign will look like, and you've heard about the Teal MP.
You're welcome. Have Have a good day. Bit of a surprise. Right, let's go for a ride down here and do the main lap of the main street. Board garage. I guess if you want to buy a surfboard or surf gear, that's where you go. Main street of Byron Bay. I don't know what it's called. Main Street, Byron Bay. Don't know. Alright, so we'll do a U-turn at the roundabout and we'll go back the way we came. You ever heard of an indicator, mate? Put your indicator on. Nice little hat this guy's got on. Well, we're in Byron Bay. We may as well go out and have a look at the lighthouse. I can see through the trees the Byron Bay Lighthouse. I'll see if I can point it out for you. Up there. Yeah, I can just see it. Anyway, it's not only a lighthouse, but it's probably more famous for being the most eastern point of the Australian mainland. Oh, we'll go and check it out. You need to put your helmet on. The police are going to get her for no helmet on her e-bike. Wildlife crossing. I wonder what they are. I wonder what it is. Can't imagine you get many kangaroos or wallabies here. Koalas probably. Active koalas nearby. Koala rescue. Lighthouse, 50 metres ahead. Well, it's a little bit more than 50 metres, but I guess that's the road to the lighthouse. Nice steep walk up the hill here.
Researchers there have been sent questions on DEI. It'll be very interesting to see what happens here with the US attacking scientific funding. So all on that later in the program. But the other story that's got people talking today is this controversial move by Sydney University to
There's the lighthouse.
just into their badge.
Fees apply, motorcycles.
So that this just highlights where we are heading, really, when it comes to our universities.
Hello. Yeah, I'm just going to do a U-turn and go straight back.
There's parking down there if you like, near the cafe, the yellow stripy lines.
Thank you.
Decolonise the sand
Well, motorcycles are $4 and she said I could go up here for free, so, but I'm not going to park. Right, well there we have it.
University of Sydney role that's being advertised with a base salary of $108,000 per annum. An officer would provide expert guidance to stakeholders, primarily
Right,
teaching staff, to identify
what a glorious view.
and plan multiple projects
Magnificent.
that align with university
So, if you
curriculum.
want to walk up to the lighthouse and then down a little bit further,
Curriculum team to design and
you'll come to the most eastern point of
academics and teaching
where those people are over there.
knowledge on
Over
national,
there.
international, cultural, and approaches to educational innovation and transformation.
And it's raining out there on the horizon
Virtually
and there.
the
Luckily it's not going to rain where I'm going, at least I hope not.
there you go, that's what's going on at the University
What a nice lady.
of Sydney at the moment. A few other stories to mention. I've been quite critical of the Attorney
Thank you.
General, Michael Daly, but you know what, I think he's doing the right thing by demanding an urgent briefing from the Department of Communities and Justice after it was revealed yesterday that there's been an
She overtook the man, because I know.
police, but then having their offences dismissed on mental health grounds in court. And I mentioned this.
Wow, look at that for a beach.
Australian tech company titan Adrian DeMarco admits the best people are staying away from public boards because listed companies have become too woke, and that Donald Trump's war on diversity and inclusion programs is a wake-up call. He thinks the diversity quotas are ridiculous and prevents companies from hiring the best talent.
Well, that was Byron Bay Lighthouse, the most eastern point of mainland Australia.
Cherry Evans and the Manly Seagulls, and it takes me back to when he backflipped from the Gold Coast Titans to state man. There's a reliance on these issues and deals to be made public. So
I want to catch up with my girlfriend.
yesterday, that's it, I've done it. I'm going to go somewhere else to another club. And the just there to get the vote, bring it to our 360 Fox and say, if we're going to pop with you, $1.5 million. But then don't Cherry Evans was not 100% the June 9. He was asked about the figure extension, he said, I'm not interested. So it's going to run into all more badly. They're not giving any quality answers there. If you become one of the mates, themselves at 12 makes yourself a tribute to whatever it makes you think for them. But probably wants to go to Queensland, I don't know, but it takes us from speaking to the media this house, why everything's sitting there. They have to go to the issue as the most test station, you know, obviously gag, but nobody can obviously do that. Given his comments in the aftermath of the Raiders lost to Man.
Dad and Mum and their little baby going for a walk.
That's the question. Six again rulings and sin bidding that went against his side. He also claimed that he no longer understood the rules. But it was meant to do no try for the rugby first. He wanted to go and sit there. Nobody voted coaches think that. Now, I'm not going to defend coaches. But I think if you're going to make coaches speak to the media directly after we're done, and the coach thinks that they've been done by a referee, why can't they express their disappointment at the issue? Bring us your time, you've been fined $25. If you're not going to bring the integrity of the match
Stop.
into question,
Well, you didn't stop, so I'm going to.
and speak your mind. Otherwise, what's the point of forcing the coaches to sit there and speak to the media after a game? So, I really like Ricky Stewart, and I've made no secret of the fact there, and, you know, he's entitled to it. But he was meant to sit and do no try for the rugby first. And he wanted to go and sit there. Nobody voted coaches think that. Now, I'm not going to defend coaches, but I think if you're going to make coaches speak to the media directly after we're done, and the coach thinks that they've been done by a referee, why can't they find it?
Alright, Byron Bay done and dusted. Let's head to Ballina. We'll follow the coast road. GoPro, stop recording.